Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin, and today's video is about wholesale changes and about what happens in the marketplace when the wholesale buyout starts to change. And for those of you who don't know, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and click like on the videos because it does help the channel. So if you do enjoy the material here, then please do those things because it does help the channel out. All right, appreciate it. So wholesale buyouts. So what do I mean? So maybe you've experienced this where you're at your local coin shop and he's got a coin marked at $32 and you offer him 28 and he says, no, I can't do that. The buyout is 30. Well, what the heck is he talking about? What's a buyout? So typically what he's talking about is he has another dealer somewhere that he knows that's going to offer him $30 for that same coin. So he is not willing to sell it at 28 if he can sell it at 30. Now, there's no law or rule against him selling it to you at $28. Obviously, he could choose to. If he wants to sell it for less than the wholesale level buyouts, then that's up to him. Now, his mind will be a little bit different, though, if he has 1,000 of those sitting around, and all of a sudden he's probably not going to be willing to sell a large quantity of them at that level because realistically, he's going to want to get the full amount for those coins. So when you hear a dealer talking about buyouts, they're just talking about the wholesale dealer-to-dealer levels. Now, these levels can change pretty rapidly, and right now, this is just a little bit of behind the scenes. They have been changing very rapidly. We are in the first trimester of the year 2021 here as I'm talking, and we've seen some pretty rapid change in the silver market and in the silver supply especially, and then it has affected, it seems, at the same time, the overall silver dollar market especially. So let me tell you a couple things that have changed really, really recently and very, very rapidly. One is the price of just raw silver dollars, whereas not that long ago, the wholesale buyout on peace dollars was about 20 bucks, and they melted at about 17 or 18, so just a couple bucks more. Now with them melting at about 20 bucks, all of a sudden the wholesale buyout's about $27, $28. So that's a pretty rapid change. And it also is a break from tradition because over the last 20 plus years that I've been doing this, the common date average circulated peace dollars often traded at just a buck or two above melt. So this goes way back to when I started doing this. Silver was in the $5 range. So you saw silver dollars trade for $5 or $6. They weren't that much more than the price of silver. So you saw a very rapid change, and that type of a change to me, when you're talking about low-end peace dollars or low-end Morgan dollars, is indication oftentimes not necessarily that the coin market is heating up, but that the bullion market is heating up, because people, I think, are looking for bullion alternatives. There's a part of me that thinks that people are even buying those to melt them down and try to refine them to replace things in the marketplace that are amiss, that are missing, like they're trying to fill some silver orders. So there is that, but that's just for bullion stuff. Now here's what's along for the ride, though. We're seeing buyouts change rapidly on Morgan dollars. So the gray sheet, which is a price guide that a lot of dealers use to try to price things, the gray sheet has been pricing Morgan dollars in a way that is actually suddenly below what some of the wholesale levels are. So I get different buyout lists, different wholesale lists from different dealers. And one of the things that I noticed was recently the gray sheet bid prices were suddenly lower than what I was getting offered. So MS64 that were bid at 50 bucks, MS63, pardon me, common date Morgan dollars in Mint State 63, they were bid at 50 bucks and I was getting offered 55 from dealers. The MS64 were bid at $60 and I was getting offered 67. I had MS65 common date dollars were bid at 120. I was getting offered 135. So this is going to have effect in a couple different ways. First of all, there's a good chance that I am now not going to use the gray sheet as my golden rule, because most price guides are never actually a golden rule. They're just a guide. But I'm going to look at this activity on the wholesale level and say, okay, I need to adjust my prices because I don't want to sell these coins for below what I can just sell them to a dealer at. And so some of you may look at this and think that this is some type of market manipulation. Well, there's truth in the fact that these wholesale numbers can change rapidly and they don't necessarily stay a long time. For a lot of these guys, once their order is filled, they're not going to buy at the same level. They may need a couple hundred pieces at that price, but after that, their buyout may drop a lot lower. So, market manipulation, I don't think so, but let's get a timeout here. So the market manipulation subject is one of it kind of cuts both ways, right? Anytime you're doing something to change and affect the market, you can call it market manipulation. Now, usually you're thinking of something really kind of nefarious or unfair, I think is the term people would use. But I'm going to refer back to recently what happened with this whole Reddit silver squeeze and not the silver squeeze part from Reddit, but what Reddit did with this stock in GameStop, where they drove the price up by having a couple million users all buy a small amount of stock and drove up the price. Well, the hedge fund guys, so I'm going to make an analogy here, these hedge fund guys that they had, it only takes a handful of them because they're moving around millions of dollars at a time. They're used to manipulating the market themselves, right? And so they're all mad because here you've got, just the average Joe manipulating the market. So in the coin market, you see some of that too, where maybe you look at these wholesale dealers that have large orders as like these hedge fund guys. But the reality is, as collectors move, so the market moves also. So if tomorrow there was some, silver coin Reddit Morgan dollar collectors who said, hey, we're not going to buy any more MS64 ever again, it would affect the market. You would just see the market price on a lot of stuff. If you have enough people participate in anything, you would see the market change. So with these rapid market changes, what should you do? What should you do in the marketplace? So there's a few different theories. One is you just plow ahead, right? You take your lumps. If a market goes up and you buy high, if it goes down, you're buying low. So it just is what you would call in the investment world, dollar cost averaging. So go ahead and take your time, just buy what you're buying. There's also different theories about market timing. I'm not as big of a fan of market timing. I understand maybe pausing, right? Like saying, I'm not going to buy right now because I don't like those prices. I think they'll come back down. But I'm not sure I'm comfortable telling you, okay, you should sell a bunch of coins now because it's up here and then it's just going to be lower later and you'll be able to buy them back. But I'm not always as comfortable making that type of a prediction because I just don't know exactly where the market's going to go next. But one of the things you may want to do is maybe change your focus. Warren Buffett has this saying that is, you buy when you're smiling and you sell when you're. No wonder none of us have any money. I totally slaughtered the thing. Warren Buffett has $1 billion and we don't, right? Because he understands you're supposed to sell when you're smiling and buy when you're crying. When the market's high, you sell. When it's low, you buy. What I'm getting at here, people, is looking into a different marketplace that is depressed. It is the crying land where you want to buy into, right? So if you want to go into a part of the market that is depressed, that is less expensive, that the prices haven't changed in a long time, there's plenty of areas in the coin market that are like that. There's lots of type coins. There are, look at V-nickels as an example. Speaking of market manipulation, if all the guys who collected Morgan dollars tomorrow said, hey, I'm going to collect V-nickels, you want to see what would happen to a marketplace that would change rapidly. You would see a pretty huge increase in dollar amount on some of the tougher to get dates on those. So anyway, this is all kind of full circle about the topic of the wholesale market, how markets move, what should you do if anything. And, there's not necessarily a right answer for those questions, but I do want to let you know some of the behind the scenes that the market does change rapidly based on what dealers are doing, based on what the market is doing. And anyways, I hope you enjoy a little bit of behind the scenes discussion about market wholesales and buyouts. So leave your comments in the box below. Let me know what you think. And thanks for watching. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.